Manipur, the state distraught by violence since May 3rd, 2023, is still reeling under uneasiness as it hauls towards normalcy. In 2024, the situation has barely seen improvement, with new incidents cropping up frequently from different pockets of the state. By mid-January, the very first month of the year, at least 4 incidents were reported, with over 200 persons reportedly killed, while over 50,000 were taking shelters against threat and fear in the state's relief camps. And now, as the year ended, violent incidents have not yet stopped. The year 2024 opened with the nightmarish killing of at least 4 people on January 1 in Lilong under Thubal district. The victims, who did not belong to either of the two communities that were at war. Even though the group responsible revealed itself, accused reportedly arrested, and that the killing was due to reasons other than ethnicity rivalry. It plainly showed the growing violence was nowhere near its end. Similarly, such violent incidents continue to storm the 22,327 km² big northeastern state known as the Jewel of India. The early incidents that began from May 3rd, 2023 were faced with outrage from across the globe. However, as incidents after incidents persist, many got lost in the haystack of violence filled with utter gloom. The present Manipur conflict has now become more complex, and any effort to restore peace and normalcy needs to be made on multiple levels. Measures are being taken both for short-term and long-term. But what we know so far about the efforts being made by the government are what have been shown and the statements being made by those involved.
I'm very hopeful that peace will be restored at earliest.
In April, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who earlier visited the strife-torn state in May 2023, visited again to campaign for the Bharatiya Janata Party for the elections set for April 19th. Shah, at an election rally in Imphal, said the upcoming Lok Sabha election would be fought between those talking of dividing Manipur and those holding it together.
भाजपा और कांग्रेस के बीच में नहीं है। ये चुनाव मणिपुर को तोड़ने की बात करने वाले और मणिपुर को जोड़कर रखने वालों के बीच में चुनाव।
However, the people of Manipur voted out the BJP and its ally, the Naga People's Front, from the inner and outer Manipur constituencies, respectively, and sent the Congress candidates to represent them in the Lok Sabha. The two has been raising the issue in the parliament aggressively.
They cannot be victimized for a cause for which this nation or the state cannot handle. Is my nation so weak that you cannot protect the lives and property of the civilians there in Manipur, sir? I beseech the conscience of this House.
Thank you.
We have so many eloquent speakers, sir. I'm closing. Sir, I'm closing. Please, please. Sir, in the end, I wish to beseech upon the conscience of this House, especially all the honorable members of the ruling bench. This is not a war against either party, be the treasury or the opposition. This is a war against humanity in this country. Please, wake up, speak to your people. All you have to do is see how difficult is it for our nation, which is growing and going to become the third largest economy. You talk only of economy, but when you are finished of people, what will that economy do when there are no people to use it?
I think the government of India must take stern action against these communal divisive forces which have created havoc in the state for the last 14 months. I would like to remind the Government of India and this House that the Government of India has a historical, political, moral and legal responsibility to defend Manipur as an entity that existed before the commencement of this Constitution, as stated in the Schedule 1 of the Constitution.
In July, during a parliament session, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the government was continuously making efforts to normalize the situation in Manipur. By July, more than 11,000 FIRs have been registered and over 500 people arrested. Modi claimed that incidents of violence are reducing. Targeting the opposition, he added, those who are trying to add fuel to the fire will be rejected by Manipur.
मणिपुर की स्थिति सामान्य करने के लिए सरकार निरंतर प्रयासरत है। वहां जो कुछ भी घटनाएं घटी, 11,000 से ज्यादा एफआईआर की गई है। मणिपुर छोटा सा राज्य है, 11,000 एफआईआर की गई है। 500 से ज्यादा लोग अरेस्ट हुए हैं। आदरणीय सभापति जी, इस बात को भी हमें स्वीकार करना होगा कि मणिपुर में लगातार हिंसा की घटनाएं कम होती जा रही है।
The Prime Minister is yet to visit the strife-torn state, for which he has been receiving massive backlash not just from the opposition parties but also from the people of Manipur. Meanwhile, leaders of different political parties continue to visit the state, including the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi. The Congress leader made his third visit on July 8th since the crisis began. He met the violence-affected people in different districts. Gandhi's visit was seen as a gimmick by the ruling BJP, and a war of words between the BJP and the Congress emerged.
There are 4 points that please respect what I am saying. I have come here to give a clear message. I am not interested in answering questions that are designed to divert the issue. Please listen to me. I have made my statement. Thank you very much. Sir, what is your idea of Manipur?
Whether actions to bring back peace have been delayed or ignored is a matter of debate. Nonetheless, to maintain law and order situation, security measures has also been stepped up, with the latest report of the centre sending over 10,000 more soldiers to Manipur, taking the total number of companies of the central forces to 288. Manipur Security Advisor Kuldeep Singh in November said all the forces, including the police, Central Reserve Police Force, the Border Security Force, Army, Assam Rifles, Indo-Tibetan Border Police and the Sahastra Seema Bal are working together. During the press conference, the state's chief security advisor also said that the security forces have so far recovered approximately 3,000 weapons looted from police armories. Meanwhile, a curfew remains in place in affected areas. The Manipur government also withdrew the temporary suspension of mobile internet services in 9 districts. The latest ban on internet was done after violence broke out in the state following the recovery of the bodies of 3 women and 3 children in Jiri and Barak rivers in Manipur and Assam, respectively. Meanwhile, the court-appointed committee headed by former High Court Judge Justice Geeta Mittal to oversee humanitarian and rehabilitation efforts for victims submitted its finding in the form of 3 reports in March. The report highlighted the fact that several residents of Manipur have lost their documentation and need to be provided with the same. The second was on the Manipur Victims Compensation Scheme, stating that same is to be brought in conformity with the NALSA scheme, and the third is a proposal of the committee for the appointment of domain experts to help in their work. In August, the tenure of the committee was extended by 6 months. On December 9th, the court directed the committee to place a report stating the rehabilitative measures undertaken in the state so far. The bench also noted that the committee has discretion to redact particular portions of the report in the interests of security. A bench of Chief Justice Sanjeev Khanna and Justice P.V. Sanjay Kumar directed the Manipur government to share details of the number of properties destroyed, burnt, looted, or that have been encroached upon following violence that began in May 2023. It also directed the state government to explain what steps it wishes to take with regards to such properties. The Supreme Court, through a bench led by former CJI D.Y. Chandrachud, has been hearing matters on the Manipur violence substantially since August 2023. In March, the Supreme Court had also sought reports from the Manipur government, the NIA, and the CBI on the status of the probe into incidents of violence in the state and whether charge sheets have been filed in any case. However, much headway has not been made. Union Home Minister Amit Shah chaired a meeting in June 17, 2024 to review the security situation in Manipur. The first such high-level meeting by the central government after the National Democratic Alliance led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi was re-elected to power. By now, at least 225 lives were lost and around 50,000 people, many of whom were residing in relief centers. A significant development came in August this year when representatives of the Meitei and Mar communities reached an agreement to make concerted efforts to restore normalcy in the Jiribam district. The agreement was reached at a meeting held at a CRPF facility in Kachar, Assam. It was moderated by the Jiribam District Administration, Assam Rifles, and CRPF personnel, and also included representatives from the Thado, Paite, and Mizo communities of Jiribam district. The joint statement issued after the meeting confirmed that both sides have been committed to making full efforts to bring normalcy and prevent incidents of arson and firing. Both parties are pledged to cooperate fully with the security forces operating in the area and facilitate controlled and coordinated movement. However, after just a day, the apex body of the Mar community said that the pact stood null and void and fresh violence was reported in Jiribam. Union Home Minister Amit Shah on September 17th said the MHA was in talks with representatives of both communities to restore normalcy. As situation continued to deteriorate in September 18th, government sources said Union Home Minister Amit Shah has been regularly reviewing the security situation in Manipur, ensuring necessary action in the last 100 days. It said continuous dialogues are being held with both the Meitei and Kuki communities to restore peace in the region as soon as possible. On October 16th, Manipur MLAs belonging to the Meitei and Kuki communities met for the first time since the violence erupted in May 2023 to discuss their concerns and resolve to appeal to the people for peace. Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh were not part of the meeting. Meanwhile, the opposition in Manipur, particularly the Congress, continues to pressure and criticize the government over the handling of the situation. The state government is also yet to announce holding of the winter session, for which the Congress has been accusing it of violating the constitution. The allegation refuted by the Manipur government. But the politics continue.
Today's our press briefing organized by MPCC is the present state government is totally violating the provisions and the article of the Constitution which is conferred to the state government. As per Article 174 of the Constitution of India, the assembly session should be held at least 3 times, that is, one is budget session, another is autumn session, another is winter session. Right from the top, that is from the parliament, there is always, at least in one calendar year, 3 sessions should be held. I repeat again, the budget session, the autumn session, and the winter session. This present assembly session, which has already held budget session, autumn session, and yet to held, the winter session is not yet held this session. That's why we have no alternative option. We have submitted memorandum to the constitutional head of the state, that is the governor. We have given memorandum to the governor, honorable speaker, who is the custodian of the house, and also chief minister of Manipur, for summoning of this winter session.
Meanwhile, the central government ended the Free Movement Regime or FMR along the India-Myanmar border and approved the construction of border fencing and roads along the 1,610 km long international border between India and Myanmar at a cost of approximately Rs 31,000 crore. During a press conference on the first 100 days of the third term of the PM Modi government, Shah said, "Recently, violence went on for 3 days. Other than that, in the last 3 months, no major incident took place." Shah said that the main cause of the problem in Manipur was the India-Myanmar border and that the centre had nullified the agreement between India and Myanmar which allowed the movement of the people to stop infiltration.
देखिए, जहाँ तक मणिपुर का सवाल है, 100 दिन में हमने जो ये घटनाओं का मूल है, भारत म्यांमार सीमा, इसका फेंसिंग शुरू कर दिया है। 30 किलोमीटर फेंसिंग समाप्त हो चुका है और पूरी 1500 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा जो सीमा है, इसको फेंसिंग करने का बजट भारत सरकार ने अप्रूव कर दिया है। 1 नंबर 2, हमने वहां पर स्ट्रेटेजिक जगहों पर सीआरपीएफ को सफलतापूर्वक लॉन्च करने का कार्यक्रम भी समाप्त कर दिया है। नंबर 3, हमने जो घुसपैठ होती थी उसको रोकने के लिए म्यांमार और भारत के बीच में जो आवाजाही का एक समझौता था, उसको भारत की ओर से रद्द कर सिर्फ वीजा के बेस पर ही आ जा सकेंगे, ये कानून भी लाए हैं। नंबर 4, कई सारे सुरक्षा लैप्सिस थे, मतलब छिद्र थे इतनी बड़ी सीमा पर, उसको पूरा करने का काम भी किया गया है। अभी हाल ही के दिन में 2 घटनाएं, 3 दिन तक हिंसक घटनाएं हुई। इसको छोड़कर विगत 3 महीनों में कोई बड़ी घटनाएं नहीं हुई थी। अब मणिपुर में अभी भी 3 दिन से शांति है। मुझे आशा है कि हम इस पर बहुत अच्छे से कंट्रोल ले पाएंगे। स्थानीय दोनों जातियों से हमारा संवाद भी है, क्योंकि नस्लीय हिंसा है। जब तक संवाद होकर दोनों के बीच में समाधान नहीं होता, कोई परिणाम नहीं निकल सकता। हम कुकी ग्रुप्स के भी चर्चा कर रहे हैं और मतई ग्रुप से भी चर्चा कर रहे हैं।
However, the border issue has more to it than just a paw for infiltrators. Building an international border and scrapping the FMR has been opposed by Nagas and Mizos besides the Kukis. Recently, Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh said, as for Manipur, the international norm would be followed. People from Myanmar will need visas and passports to enter the state. He also added perhaps the centre is trying to find a balance.
Now, there is a media report circulating since yesterday saying that Myanmar's national will be allowed within 10 kilometer radius. Is there any communication to the state government? What exactly is the news all about?
No, right now there is no communication. But I also have seen the document. But as we told you, just India government is trying to regulate the FMR. India government is trying to regulate the FMR. Even earlier, the Home Ministry has mentioned to issue visa. Those Myanmaris who want to enter India, they will be allowed only after having visa and this one passport. But it is an interim arrangement. I think final settlement is not there. It is an interim arrangement because many neighboring states asking to not to impose FMR to set free, you know.
AFSPA was extended for 6 months in April, excluding areas under the jurisdiction of 19 police stations. In November, in an attempt to control violence in Manipur, the central government reimposed the Armed Forces Special Powers Act or AFSPA in the state's 6 police station areas. The decision to impose AFSPA in Manipur's 6 police station areas was taken given the continuous volatile situation there due to the ongoing ethnic violence, the Union Home Ministry said in a notification. The fresh order came after the Manipur government imposed AFSPA in the entire state on October 1, barring 19 police station areas that include these 6. Organizations have been demanding the repeal of AFSPA from the state ever since it was imposed in the late 1950s. Reports of violence have not died down yet. lives continue to be lost, thousands still taking shelter in camps in both hill and valley areas. It will not be an exaggeration to state that the efforts being made to restore normalcy in the strife-torn state has not seen fruition despite claims being made. Mention may be made, Amnesty International conducted interviews with health workers, residents, humanitarian organizations, and journalists at shelter camps in Manipur, where more than 50,000 internally displaced persons or IDPs are currently living. They revealed a picture of a state missing in action despite the claims of timely intervention of the central and state government and promise of financial aid package by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in April 2024. There are so many questions that remain unanswered. However, one thing is clear. The people bearing the brunt only want peace.